Let's add one more. And I'm going to mark these final nodes in red. Let's assume that price over here is $100. Suppose we're going to do a call option with a strike price of $100. Now, a call option gives the owner of the option the right to buy at that price, but not the obligation. And suppose these are prices such that this is 102, 106, 108, 100, 98, 96, 94. It just turned out that those are the prices in the final node. The way we're going to do it is if I reach to that final node, I know how much this option is worth. If the price is 100 or below, option is worth, I'm going to 0, right? Why? Because if the market is trading at 94, I would never buy it at 100. So that option is worth nothing. Right here, the option is worth 2. I'm sorry, I meant to say 104, 106, 4 and $6. So I know exactly what it's going to be worth if we get there. So I'm going to pretend as if I'm one period behind. Suppose I'm right here. With 1/6 probability, the option that I have is going to be worth $2. With 2/3 probability, 0. Another 2/3 probability, 0. So what's the expected value? Well, this is going to be basically 2/6. Okay. How about if I reach here? With 1/6 probability, it's 0. 2/3 probability, 2. 1/6 probability, 4. So that would be 4 plus 4, 8/6. How about if I reach here? And that's 2 plus 6, 8 plus 8, 16. 16/6. And these are going to be both zeros. Okay. Well, if I know what the value of option will be there, I can go back one more, right? Same thing here. I'm not going to calculate it here, but same idea. We're going to calculate the expected values until we reach all the way there. So first things first, let's construct the tree. Okay, under my developer tab, Visual Basic, I'm going to insert a module, and I'm going to call that module Black-Scholes. Doesn't matter what you call it. I'm going to do a function. Let's call this BS call. I'm going to have some inputs. Current stock price, I'm going to call it iSpot. iStrike is double. I rate, the interest rate as double. I volley for volatility as double. I time for the length of the option periods as double. And I'm going to put an optional argument here. If it's left out, we're going to treat this as a European option, which means it can be exercised only at the end. Otherwise, it's an American option. Whenever you have an optional argument, you say optional, name of the argument. Let's call it Yankee or iYankee as Boolean. Boolean is that data type that takes on only two values, either true or false, and equals false. That's the default value as double. Now, those are my inputs. You know, I'm going to need certain local stuff. Among them, oh, I forgot one thing. I also need one more argument. I step as long. That's the number of steps I'm going to take. Let's call this D time. And D time will be I time divided by I step. And depending upon the option, sometimes we do it 10,000 times. Doesn't matter how many times you do it. Code is exactly the same. So if the option has 1 year until expiration, I'm going to divide that 1 year period into 10,000 little pieces. The more steps you take, the more precise the result is. I'm going to read some more constants. For example, dim. Let's call that d mean as double. And my d mean is, let me see, I rate minus 0.5 times I volley times I volley. That's R minus 1/2 sigma squared. You know, I'm old school. I don't ever calculate anything twice. I calculate it once, store it. Now, we will also need a construct that's going to store the values of those trees, okay? In fact, I'm going to need 3 trees. If this was a little bit more advanced, I would have done this as a class module where I would have created a class called tree, and that tree would have had properties, but I'm not going to go into it. First, then let's call this Y tree as double. That little two parentheses, you know, open and close. That means Y tree is going to be an array. Okay. In this case, 2-dimensional. Then P tree as double. Then O tree as double. I'm going to use P tree for price tree. O3 for the value of the option tree. Okay. Let's also call them Y spot as double. I'm going to use Y spot to store the transform value of the. Huh? Yeah. Oh, thank you. It's not. There's no data type called duplicate. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to use Y spot to store this transformation. There's that for the original value. Yeah. Log of the spot price minus all of that. Because I'm going to construct a Y starting from that value, Y3. So Y spot equals